Hey all, we are having a look at the EoD Strikes this time round. So this will mostly be from the point of view of EoD Strike CMs, and it will include all five, but obviously Harvest Temple has its own specific builds because it is significantly harder than all the others. But these builds would also work in normal mode, so if you are working with normal mode strikes, you can perfectly well take these to those for you. Okay, so we're going to start with Aetherblade Hideout. I like to take all the CC to Aetherblade Hideout because of the split phases, the add phases, where you have to CC the ads. I will be honest, it has been a very long time since I did normal mode, so I don't remember if there are those in normal mode. But for CM, I take my spear, because you will notice I take my spear to all of the EoD4, mostly because it does really nice CC. So we have our Mantra of Distraction and our Signet of Domination for Aetherblade Hideout. These both do a lot of CC if you've got Mesmer Runes on, so I suggest taking Mesmer Runes and a Paralyzation Sigil. And obviously Moa Signet of Humility for every single one of these builds, because, anywhere with the CC bar, we take our Moa Signet. We do have Precognition, Precognition on our Chrono builds. This is mostly for the phases where you have shockwaves, you can Aegis those, or for just general damage mitigation. If you take one of Precognition, feel free to take All's Well That Ends Well if you want to, instead of delayed reactions, but otherwise it doesn't really matter which one you take. And then our second Chrono build, and you'll see our second Mirage build, have feedback. If you get the mechanics where she does the orbs that float to the side and then explode at the side, it can be really helpful to have feedback to reflect those. I don't think it actually reflects, but it does stop them from going out and killing everybody that goes to the side with a blue, red, whatever you want to call them, and therefore keeps your score alive. It's obviously pretty useless if you don't get those mechanics, but if you know that you're likely to, then I would take it. Mantra of Distraction obviously on every single build here. On our Mirage version, we also have Mirage Advance. Now, Mirage Advance does do less damage, break bar damage to the CC bars than Signet of Domination, but it also has a shorter cooldown and is a movement skill, so you can throw yourself across the platform at the ad that you're trying to CC. Okay, let's have a look at Xunlai Jade Junkyard, also known as Ankka. So we have our lovely picture of Ankka here. She is a nice Inquest lady. We have our Moa Signets again. It's very rare that I take anything else. It's only if nowhere has a CC bar in that fight. And Ankka does have CC bars in her fight. She has CC bars, and the ads also have them. I generally go and solo CC one of them in my static, and therefore I have rifle and spear. Now, the rifle is quite important because you have resistance on it, and in CM you someone gets targeted by the hatred and gets given immobilize if they walk too close. Now, if you are a Mirage, you cannot dodge with immobilize on, and therefore you can't do Alacrity as easily. I don't have any extra skills here to enable me to do Alacrity, but yeah, you can't basically do your Alacrity, so having resistance is really useful whilst your group kill the hatred. But effectively, our middle skill here is Mantra of Concentration, which is our stability mantra. This is for the worms in CM, and then we have CC again, because, you know, if we're doing a solo CC thing, then we're going to need a lot of CC. I do have Well of Action on that second Chrono build. This is because if you know the timings really well, you can time to give super speed for the AoEs that you have to take off the group, so that people can run out fast. Obviously, it depends on if they're in your subgroup or not, but otherwise, extra might and fury is often nice, depending on if you have a boon DPS that will do that. Okay, Kaineng Overlook. Again, Spear. I generally start in Spear so that I can get clones up really quickly, so that I can do protection and stability. You'll see we have Mantra of Concentration, our stability mantra, in the middle of our skill bar here. This is the slot that I generally put stability mantra in, just so I know where it is. But yeah, we are planning to do our stability for the slashes in CM. You can't as easily see where he's doing it. You can from like how his hitbox faces, but it's harder to see than in normal mode, where he gets the giant AoE that you can see. So we are gonna bring our mantra for that. You can use your distortion, but it's not off cooldown for every single one. So stability mantra is the most useful. On my Chrono builds, I generally take Well of Action. This, alongside All's Well That Ends Well, will give people Might, Fury, and healing from afar. I know you still have Rifle, but extras are always nice. And then I either take Phantasmal Disenchanter for the extra clones at the start, or Mantra of Distraction. Now, I generally solo CC the sniper in CM, so I will go and take my Mesmer runes and my Paralyzation Sigil and go and CC her by myself. So having Mantra of Distraction can help with that. You don't need it, but in case you manage to accidentally not use Moa by cancelling it or whatever, then you've got extra CC backup. The bottom one is the one that I took most recently to Kaineng Overlook. I took the Signet trait in Inspiration, the Grandmaster, instead of the Heal and Cleanse on Shatter trait, and therefore had Signet of Inspiration, as well as Crystal Sands for the extra Mirage cloak, and it did actually help with upkeeping boons during the sniper mech split phase. It's not required, and most healers will just kind of let the boons drop, because, you know, yeah, busy kiting, but it did actually help, so I thought I'd add it on here just for an option for everybody. That third line is fully core Mesmer, so you can take it on either Mirage or Chrono. Then we've got Lion's Court, Old Lion's Court OLC. Again, I take my Spear. It's quite rare that I actually end up using my Spear, but it can also be good for getting around if you have to run away with a tether and then to get back to the bosses. Again, all the CC for the top line and the third line here, those are full CC bars. Mantra of Distraction, Well of Serenity, Domination Signet, Signet of Humanity, and Mirage Advance are all CC stills of varying levels. The second one down on Chrono, I would suggest that you take All's Well That Ends Well with this, because you have two wells on your bar. The Well of Action is nice for getting around and for super speeding away from green if you need to. And Serenity, again, is a nice range CC. The bottom one, Mirage Advance, Distraction, and Crystal Sands, is basically so that you have extra Mirage Cloak. if you don't need all of the CC for your squad. It does mean you can do more healing that way. Now, this Harvest Temple slide is based on Harvest Temple Challenge mode, and has it has a few options on here. You can take these in normal mode. You can also take get rid of Blink and just take Phantasmal Disenchanter or Crystal Sands or any other still, really. So you'll see here on our elites we have Gravity Well or Moa Signet. Now Moa Signet is just your standard. If you're running Paralyzation Sigils, you will do 780 CC with it. If you want AoE CC on your Chrono, you can take Gravity Well. That's really good for like the champions, or for ads, or for grouping things up, or for giants, or anything. Unfortunately, it only does 300 CC on the orb in general, because the orb is moving in challenge mode. In normal mode, it does stop, and therefore it only normally gets the first pulse of Gravity Well, which is 300 CC. So we have Well of Precognition at the top, which is more stability and Aegis, and is your base level heal Chrono build. We have Portal in the middle here, which either Mirage or Chrono can take. Portal is, in my opinion, for slightly more advanced traits, and should be only used once you know what you're doing with kiting. The bottom one also is core. It is Arcane Thievery, which is a boon rip. It takes 3 boons off. It also gives you quickness, which is really quite nice, and cleanses conditions from you. So it can be like a really nice deal. It's got a small cast time, but you can take all of the boons off as long as you're at the boss with Arcane Thievery in challenge mode. So also a very nice skill to take. You'll see our third line down has Mass Invisibility on it. This is also a core Mesmer utility. I know I've only put Mirage next to it, but that's mostly because I didn't want to cover C1 with the Chrono symbol. I would generally suggest that you don't take Mass Invisibility, that one of the portals takes it for challenge mode, but it is a possibility you do have the Mesmer utility in full after all. And my favourite Mesmer Mirage still is Mirage Advance. You can use this to get around the platform. It jumps to a target. It's also, obviously, as we've been using it previously, a extra CC if required, but it is really good to just move around the platform. It's 900 range for that, so you can get quite a long way with it. Now, for our weapons at Harvest Temple, you'll see I don't have a spear. This is because pushing with spear is kind of sad for the orbs, unfortunately, as much as I really want to like spear, because it has a boon rip on it, and it also has spear 3 and spear 5, all really, really nice skills. The pushing power for CM is just sad. So our top line there are generally favoured with Rifle, Dagger, Shield, and our second ability is Rifle, Staff. Now you can take either on both Chrono and Mirage. For the second one, if you are taking Staff, you can swap up your relics if you have a boon DPS who also does swiftness. There's a lot of running around in Harvest Temple, especially in challenge mode, and therefore you kind of want swiftness to be able to get around the platform. But if you've got other people in your subgroup covering most of the swiftness, you can do about 20-25% with a staff. Slightly more if you take Warrior Relic, and that's the weapon swap one. But you could also take Geyser Relic with this, and someone who does the majority of the swiftness. And because you are doing rigor on basically every ambush, you trigger the relic practically off cooldown, and therefore your Vindies and your Daredevils will love you. So yeah, so that's EoD 5. So your deer is the same as the deer in my win 1 to 4 video. I will just put the slides here just so that you can see them, but they're basically just heal chrono templates. I do basically take my Mesmer runes everywhere in EoD because there's so much CC required. In Harvest Temple I don't. I take water runes, but if you want the build for that, that is in my Harvest Temple video, and you can go and have a look at that. Okay, I'm not rotating more of your time, so that's everyone. I'll see you around.